Oh, balls. So, I know I'm cutting it pretty close. It is about 11:48 that I started recording this video, and it's almost the end of Tuesday. Very close to leaking into Wednesday. So, unfortunately, I didn't get around to finishing up the show, The Silver Ship and the Sea, until about yesterday. So, shoot. So, anyway, in my last review, I started talking about how that book was kind of a take on racism. Well, it technically was, and it technically is, and just kind of a quick catch-up, though. The story takes place in this distant planet that's kind of Earth-like, that's been colonized by these natural humans, and then, while these natural humans were there, these so-called altered were there as well. Just basic genetic modifications like a couple of arms, eyes in the back of the head, being able to read the internet with their brains, or something like that, and just multiple things, things that you could genetically modify people to do whatever. Like you could genetically modify a fantastic singer. Which, that's kind of a whole debate on its own. Would you really want to genetically modify your child to be a great singer, or would you rather just kind of give birth to one and go, okay, let's just see how this works. So pretty much, there was a war before the time that this book took place, and both sides lost. There were losses on both sides, and the altered that tried to settle on this planet left, and they left behind seven of their kind. One was an adult, who was technically the ambassador of the altered before the war, and 6 children, like from babies. So now all the babies have grown up, they're in their preteens, or they are in their teens, and I have a hard time seeing them like under 12. I see them as like 16, 17 years old, and they're starting to pair off and grow more emotional and whatnot. And so where I left off in my last review was that there was a horrible death, and the main characters, I'm sorry, one's name is Joseph, the other one I'm just going to say is Cleo. Yeah, that sounds right. I think that's how I read it. So Cleo and Joseph are pretty much like the main characters of the story. Now, Joseph is able to read the internet and do whatever with whatever he can do with his abilities. And their parents, not the real parents, but the humans that adopted them and raised them, got killed. Joseph, mental train wreck, and then now that all the altered children are growing up, there's some debate on what should happen when they all grow up. So the town's kind of split between the people who still act like the war's still going on because these 6 children still exist. Then there's the other half that are just like, you know what, the war's over. Crack up please. So, they decide, hey, we're going to send Cleo and Joseph out to repair these nodes, which help them protect their city and whatnot, that got damaged during the earthquake, and hopefully it'll get Joseph back into the nets again, because when Joseph was connected to the nets, and then he actually sensed and felt his surrogate parents die in a rock fall. So, kind of scared him. So, along all this time, you get introduced to the other characters, but pretty much, it was all about acceptance. This entire story is just about acceptance. I'm sorry if I rambled on earlier just to get to this point, but I'm sorry. So, the whole story is about acceptance and finding compromises. And the story will kind of bother you towards the end because you're getting down to about this much left to read, and then it still kind of throws you one more curveball at the end. We're like, what? And then it's like, oh, okay. and the ending is a bit too sudden for me, and there's no real sorry, there's no real, like, resolve. I mean, there is a resolve, but not one that I liked. So, good read. I may not be making a video next week because I am job hunting, and I will be having so much time taken up by filling out applications. So I will try my hardest to find another sci-fi book, read it, and have a video by next week. So, that's it. Sorry.